Welcome back. So the next step is I pretty much just want to be able to say and then press add, and it should show up here as a new line, right? Now, if I were you, I would really make validation for each of these fields like we work with, but I'm going to skip it just to kind of shorten the length and the amount of videos that I'm producing right now. So you put in something here, press add, and it should pop up here as a new address. Let's try and go and actually code that. In the code, you've made a button that has the type submit. What that button will do is it'll say, let's find the nearest form. Oh, there's a form. I'm going to use that form and call whatever is inside, whatever method is inside the submit function up here. So I can put anything in here. Let's just call it save address or new address or something like that. And that's kind of all I want here. So I'm going to create this new function right here in the TS code for the address list. So right under the constructor maybe, let's just add a new function here. And that function is going to be called save address. Now how do we get this? You can go grab it and have a look at the code. I'm going to go and grab all the values from the actual address group. So you can do this address group dot value like this, and then you can actually get all the values. If you forgot this, you can go into your customer create component TS file, and here's actually how you save that, so you can kind of have a look at how you did it at that point and do the same thing, right? So now we have the values available. What we're actually going to do is we're going to jump back to our component here, because what we want to do as the next step when we save addresses is kind of create inside the addresses. We're going to push. That's how you actually add to an array of addresses or an array inside Typescript. You're going to push a new element, and that element, you should have guessed it by now, is actually going to be our new address. So we'll have a street, right? And that street is of course going to be the values of street. And how do you pull out the value information again if you forgot it? Just jump down and have a look at your previous code. You can just write values dot and then street, and that should do it for you. Let's just do dot street. There we go. Do a comma. What else do we have? We have a number. So we should have a number here, and we should be able to say values dot number like this. Do a comma, and we also have the city. So we should also be able to say values dot city. And then we can kind of call this now actually an address, so it accepts it. And that should be all we had to do. Now it should actually update every time I add a new address. Let's try and test it. Street, yubi, and number, pink, and city, and plus. And there we go. We have a new address. And it should clear this guy as well. So let's do that as the final thing. When this is actually pushed, we are just going to do a reset right after the push. We can try and do it this way. So we'll say this dot address group dot reset, right? So that was how easy it should be. Let's try and actually do this again, and we'll say grips and 22. We'll do an add, and there we go. Now we have this new guy available. So we're getting a few errors. Don't worry about that right now. We'll fix it. It's not a problem. It's just because of these buttons out here. They're not set up yet. So this is running now. We can start adding addresses, and we'll just keep on working with this in the next lesson. Have fun.